Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you for joining me for this video. And here we're going to talk a little bit about Chris Godwin and this contract situation that he has. Obviously, that franchise tag deadline, it is coming and it is coming soon. And what we've seen from Tampa Bay so far, because this entering the free agency period, there was a lot of decisions to be made by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, a lot of core pieces, young pieces that they wanted to keep around. And they did an absolutely fantastic job of keeping this team intact. You know, but if you want to look beyond this year, obviously Chris Godwin's situation would definitely come, you know, in terms of just one of those situations where you want to get a deal done. Obviously, that's what Tampa Bay wants to do. But Chris is going to want the numbers to look right. One comparison made by Jeremy Fowler is by Kenny Golladay. You can go off of the numbers for there, and I'll pull that up really quickly. In terms of, you know, Kenny Golladay is getting around $18 million per year with the New York Giants, in which he just signed with them, leaving the Detroit Lions. And so that's a number that, you know, being that they were in the same draft class, that's a number that he's gonna want to be compared to in terms of just what he's going to be looking per year. So maybe he's going to look for that 19. I'd imagine about 20 million a year probably is what he'd probably be hoping for. I don't know if Tampa Bay would be willing to do that. I mean, they've shown a willingness so far to go ahead and try to make that happen in terms of paying these younger players, but that's certainly something that they're going to have to discuss. And they've only got 2 days if they want to get that deal done before the July 15th deadline for the franchise tag. And so I'll go ahead and read through this article here where it says Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin and his representative only have a couple days left to reach a deal before the team, you know, franchise tag deadline hits on Thursday. The Bucs selected Godwin for the tag back in March to keep him on the team instead of letting him hit the free agency. Because obviously, if Chris Godwin would have hit free agency, who knows where he would have went? I mean, so many teams needed wide receivers, but the wide receiver market didn't get as paid as much as a lot of them probably thought that they would have been, and so therefore you did see a lot of teams come back, receivers come back on one-year deals, simply because, you know, with the cap hit that took due to the COVID pandemic, it did impact a lot of the free agents and their decisions to come back for another year. But that being said, though, next year's free agency should be a little bit more friendlier across the board, and so that may be all Chris Godwin would need, especially if he wants to be the man in terms of getting a lot of targets again and cashing in on that huge payday that he certainly will receive somewhere else. They say that the talks of the two sides are getting, you know, getting an extension or a new contract done before Thursday's franchise tag deadline. Doesn't look promising, though, which means the star wideout will play under the tag in 2021. So Tom Pelissero says nothing imminent on that front regarding Godwin's contract situation via NFL.com. Kevin Patra on July the 9th. Godwin, he will make $15.9 million with the franchise tag, you know, per year, for this upcoming season. And so, yeah, certainly I understand Chris Godwin being concerned about the future of his contract. Obviously, that's something that, you know, he went ahead this year, you know, didn't make any noise about being tagged, but players typically do not like being tagged. They want to go ahead and make their money because so many things can go wrong. You can go out there, have an injury that can change the landscape of not just your future, but without any guaranteed money. Now you're on the short end of things. You know, you can't take your time to recover. Got to just take whatever teams are willing to give you. And believe me, they will try to shortchange you in that scenario. So, yeah, certainly understand that players wanting that assurance that comes with a longer deal. So Godwin figures to be one of the key targets for quarterback, you know, Tom Brady this season. The former third-round pick caught 65 passes for 840 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2020 despite nagging injuries. He made another 16 reception for 232 yards and a touchdown in Bucs postseason run. And so obviously being healthy is going to be extremely huge. If he wants to cash in, the best way to maximize his value is to be on the field this upcoming season. You know, last year he did have a lot of nagging injuries throughout the season. I remember that. And so, and if Tampa Bay wants to have the type of regular season that they think they can have and repeat, his health is certainly going to be one of those things that's going to be an important part for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa took him with the eighth pick out of Penn State in 2017, and he made an impact on the field right away. He had 34 receptions for 525 yards and the touchdown in 2017, and built upon that in 2018 with 59 catches, 842 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He became a Pro Bowler in 2019 after making 86 catches for 1,333 yards and 9 touchdowns that season. And so there you have it. Obviously, the franchise deadline is coming up in just 2 days. And so that's a lot of ground to have to make up in 2 days. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing on the tag. But should something happen elsewhere, I'll definitely be one to report it here. Should that happen and they do come to an agreement, and if not, then I'll just report other NFL news that does take place, and you're certainly not going to want to miss that. So make sure, if you haven't already, that you do press that subscribe button, and therefore, you'll be notified whatever NFL content does come out, or whether it's NBA content as well, or perhaps some college sports. But certainly make sure that you press that subscribe button. Best way to help support the channel, help grow, and I really do appreciate all the support. But with that being said, certainly looking forward to seeing how this situation plays out, as well as more NFL news. So thank you guys again for watching, and see you guys next time.